work to do. Now I have signal. The true, what's the word? Contradiction, hyperdiction, really. I have my phone out to take her. The thing that overwhelms me the most here wasn't too bad in my last area, because their 50-somethings had given up using phones 5 years ago. So I have to take my phone out to make this, but I hardly use my phone. And 48 hours of randomly trying to do some good works, totally random, using my phone a bit. But forget me. The point of living. 30 years ago I started to do this with my camper, which I bought then, I think. Just stop somewhere quiet and just be. No phones, no nothing. Me, I haven't had signal most of the last 2 weeks actually, but better signal inland. But it overwhelms me. The world, and it is in every way bad. All visitors and locals here. If I go down to the coast, where there's no signal, all of them are looking at their phones. It is so utterly. Take the Barbie film. Oh, there's a car coming. Opening scene, and it should be smashing phones. And then we can go back to the sanity that we had prior to... Well, I know everybody's gone mad because of their phone. Well, nearly everybody. Very, very few exceptions. But when you say people have gone mad, Audi, they stare at you. Everybody stares at you here. What does going mad mean? It means if you're going to administer your life, the phone is not the answer. Meeting a human being is the answer. Especially if you've got difficult issues. And I started to say, I realised 12 or 13 years ago this had happened in the work I did. Absolutely fucking tireless work. It's often 50 hours I'd spend if I had weeks between having my daughter. Every other week that was. Never when she was with me or only for a few hours, but I'd spend 50 hours on somebody's terrible cliff edge. They may lose their kids, and they shouldn't. I'd only do it if they shouldn't, and you can tell. But because I don't want to talk about, I would never divulge the confidences of anybody that contacts me. But I realised about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, what people do is they phone an expert up when they're in a crisis, not to actually listen to the expert. And I realised this 12 years ago. They actually phoned them up to be almost seen, or maybe to assuage their own whatever. To be seen to be phoning the expert, to tell themselves they phoned the expert. That's not how you deal with anything. You actually have to meet, particularly in really terrible, more than life-changing situations, end of the world situations. If something goes wrong with this horrible Nazi, Stalinist, Maoist system that's been ongoing in Britain for about 25 years. Even David Cameron basically said so. So yes, but it's the phones. I don't know what people are doing on their phones. And furthermore, they look very unhappy. And furthermore, if you said to them, why don't you just find a spot and just do nothing? Or get a piece of paper out and write a bad poem. They actually But I know, because I was one 30 years ago. I bought a camper van so I could go off into the hills. Cheap camper van, not a Greek one. Cheap camper van, go off into the hills with my mobile phone and be available for a little bit of just very simple, straightforward business I did. Yeah. In when you're out. Fine. But they really have taken over everything. And you can't say to people, I even had a conversation with somebody a few days ago who was walking past when I was parked up by the sea, walking past talking to her friend, saying she can't sleep because she's on her devices too much. And I just said to her, do you know what? That actually may have even been the case in my life 25 years ago, because I had a business selling books, so I had to use the internet. That was how I lived. But I started to realise if I don't use the phone in the afternoon, by the evening it's like all the yucky, staticky, whatever. Who knows what it does to your brain? Susan Grenfell said it damages your brain. Small screens, looking into small screens. But anyway, and it's like 40-year-old, it's just like, just in a friendly way, because I was sat at the side of the road just having my lunch or something, in a friendly way, it's like, that's an insult. No, I can't possibly, and that's basically how the conversation went. I can't possibly not be using my devices in the night. Forget it. Because it does fry people's brains. That's the simple fact of the matter. If you've got really big decisions to make about life, like we have every few years, you need time away, you need time out properly, where nothing's distracting you. But they can't listen to that anymore, so there you go.